guys, it's Jacob from Stringbuzz here, stringbuzzworld.org being a music journalism site, links are in the description down below. And before I dive into this, we just hit 100 subscribers. That's kind of crazy really, I didn't expect that to happen so early on in this week. It's always sort of one step forward, two steps back when you're starting out a YouTube channel. For every upload you do, you end up losing more subscribers than you would gain. So it's been good that I had a sort of a break over this weekend. I feel much more refreshed and I'm excited for this week coming. Let's hope that we stay at least at 100 subscribers or begin to go up. That would be really lovely. So anyways, we've got a brand new song review for you today, and it's by Her, the band Her, featuring ZéFire, I think that's how you might pronounce it, and that's Swim. So I'm going to refer to the original article as I usually do, so I hope you enjoy. So going into this track, it's fair to say I know diddly squat about the group or the feature in this collaboration. Even when I tried researching a little bit more about the combination of artists just before this review yet again, I couldn't find much at all really, as their social medias only really included tour dates rather than actually anything about the group. Even when I looked in their about sections, just anywhere for any information about both of them, I couldn't really find anything. I decided to give a punt on this track anyway, so shall we see what I thought of it? Well, I thought it was actually a pretty darn fun time, and I actually liked how they went with this sort of really smooth approach, but with like a slightly quirky undertone to it. I know a lot of people might not like that approach, but I really quite enjoyed it. I love the textures that were created by combining both organic instrumentation with these larger-than-life synth tones and electronic timbres. It's one of the most interesting collection of sounds I've heard work so well together over the last fortnight or so. The vocal performance was also fantastic throughout this track, a lot like Ceramic's recent track. Just a really strong vocal performance driving the song, building and using dynamics incredibly well to create a development that is very easy to get engrossed in. That's what happened to me anyway. The climax of the track is also one that is definitely worth waiting for, as it knocks you out with a flurry of the great aspects I've already prior mentioned. Production wise, the track is really quite solid actually, and there isn't a single aspect here which came across as dull or lackluster or not even thought about. The tones and timbres which were picked for the electronic elements in particular all sounded great and complemented the well-mixed organic instrumentation, something quite difficult to achieve without swamping certain areas of the stereo field, because often electronic music does swamp organic instrumentation, but here they worked hand in hand very well to create that really nice texture I was talking about. I love the vocals which were kept quite untampered with too, and it allowed for this vintage funky sound to really stay prominent throughout all dimensions of the overall mix, especially in that mid ground. The low ground was filled with a really funky bass that I think was electronic, but it had this slight twang to it which did make me believe it was probably just manipulated on a bass guitar just in post-production. The mid ground is full of exciting and memorable synth work, as well as a gorgeously clean guitar which added that sort of edge to the track which it really needed, again with that vintage funk style. Everything here just sounds solid, so it's a really great production cycle really. When it comes to the musicality of this track, the intro is a little slow, and in some ways it worked and others not too much depending on your preference. It allowed for the rest of the track to come in with a bang, I will say that, being both unpredictable and exciting, yet it is also very skippable on the re-listen. It's not something which is worth listening to every time you listen to the track. However, the rest of the track sounds great, and as I've mentioned a few times now, it's that texture that is just so sweet and juicy that you can't help but smile as it unfolds. The strumming harmonic guitar worked very well to add some classic influences into the track, as I've already mentioned. The vocal melodies are strong and memorable throughout the track. The chorus hook is catchy and very re-listenable, and the whole track just executed the basics really well, really professionally in fact. The bass is funky without being too distracting. The synths work their way throughout the track very well, ducking in and out of the foreground, which usually doesn't work so well for me, but I think it worked out just fine here. And that sax solo is just sexy as hell towards the end of the track and added yet more dimensions into what is already a multi-dimensional track. There are so many different elements here to talk about, and that's why I love it so much. I will say that there is a section towards the end of the track where things quieten back down a little bit. I can't remember if it was on the back half of the bridge or the first half of the bridge, and I didn't think it was very necessary at all, especially, you know, preceding or following that sax solo, because that did enough for me. But it worked well enough, and it wasn't distracting, I would say, and I was still kept pretty darn entertained throughout. The lyrics are simplistic yet quirky as well, concentrating on a very personalised theme without sounding too disjointed or too unrecognisable. Even the lyrics here are stronger than your average performance, and sure, they might not be, you know, thought-provoking or anything like that. But like I said, they've got a quirky style to them, a bit of a cheeky style to them, and it's just fun stuff, really. So all in all, a really great track, and perhaps the surprise package of the month so far. I'm excited to see what these guys do next, actually. Definitely recommend that you give this track a listen. So I gave it a G rating of 8 out of 10, which is well above average. So if you like this video, then please leave a like, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you around next time. Bye-bye.